Let's go.
Hey, Matt Moreno here with the Moreno Real Estate team talking to Nick Krem, the media guru and content king. How you doing, Nick?
I am fantastic, Matt. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I know it's going to be a good one here with you.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. So I saw you had a Facebook post after Dallas that talked about how super smooth a flight you had.
Man.
You want to talk about that?
I had, so I was planning on flying in on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I had a straight flight from Orlando to Dallas. Yeah. And then they said the weather was bad, so we touched down in New Orleans to refuel. And then after 7 hours of waiting there, they said the weather was still bad. But get this. They took our plane and flight crew and took another group to Dallas.
No.
Yeah, they took someone else to Dallas. And then they gave me a $50 hotel voucher.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you know what? Kick rocks. So at that point, they weren't taking us to Dallas. I didn't have another ride. So I flew back to Orlando, right? So I flew back to Orlando, but that was after another 5 hours. So it was a total of 12 hours in an airport. I was still trying to find a way to Dallas. I was even looking up cars, but dude, renting a car right now is insane.
Yeah,
right?
You're not going to do it.
Yeah. So I flew back to Orlando. I rested. I slept Wednesday, and I woke up to like 20 texts. And then I woke up at midnight, and Rebecca Soto texted me. He's like, where are you? You have to be here. I'm like, you know what? Booked a flight first thing to Dallas in the morning. I got to Dallas, walked in right when Tony was coming on stage.
Right.
And, it just – sometimes it doesn't go as planned, but that doesn't mean, right when we started our business, I was just talking about this with my business partner today. Mm-hmm. Keep the same goal, but let's be flexible to how we get there.
Right.
I mean, I got to Dallas. It definitely wasn't the way I wanted to do it, but I got there.
Yeah. And we got to shake hands and meet each other, and here we are. Look at that networking.
Yeah.
That conference, man, that was super cool. That was the first one that Janelle and I had been able to go to.
Really?
Yeah, because we've been with EXP for like a year and a half or two.
Right.
And, we just hit the ground running once we came over here, and Steve McCarthy, he just taught us what to do, and we've done it. And I tell people, man, every time he tells me something to do and I do it, I make 10 grand. It's crazy.
That's I tell people, what's it like being a part of the Honey Badgers, right? What's it like being a Honey Badger? I told them, I used to go to sleep with questions and concerns. Now I go to sleep with answers and excitement.
Exactly.
All I have to do is ask someone what to do. They've already done it, and all I have to do is do it.
Yeah, and just have fun doing it.
Exactly.
I used to have all this stress about money and all this stress about everything. Like, how am I going to do the next thing, get to the next level? Well, you're already at the next level with EXP, It doesn't change anything at all. Like, you just go to Dallas. Like, I never flew. It was 30 years before I was on an airplane.
Really?
And my wife threw me on a tin can airplane. I swear to God. E.B. Cooper used it for test flights before what he did,
Yeah.
They call him a puddle jumper. And I was just, I was afraid of heights, and I couldn't get over that. And then we fly out to Montana. I had a great fishing trip with my father-in-law. We fly back, it was like 4 flights. And then with this one to Dallas, I was just like, let's take a ride to Dallas. Shit, who cares? Let's just go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it was super fun, talk about overcoming fears. I used to be afraid in public and all of that. And here I am with 6,000 other honey badgers and Dallas at a convention, just blew my mind, But one thing I wanted to talk to you about a little bit, because I've kind of started to see how important these lives are to my business and how important content is. I mean, can you go into that a little bit? I mean, that's like your jam, right?
So I mean, with content, it's really about, controlling the narrative, because I believe, especially with the group we're with, the coaching we get, we are experts in real estate.
Right.
And a lot of times the narrative around real estate too isn't always the best, because unfortunately some people don't have the best experience. So I believe it is if you are an expert in real estate, I believe it is your duty and obligation to shoot more video, to put yourself out there, to get in front of more people, and to help more families. Because at the end of the day, especially with the company, like the company that we run, I started turning away clients if they don't provide that experience. Because we can make anybody look great, right?
Yeah.
Like with video, with this process and doing it. But I believe I also have a duty and an obligation to the end user to make the right people look great.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of times, a lot of great salesmen, we're face to face, right? And then this whole video world comes into it. So that's what I love to do. It's making this process simple. And it's really getting the community involved, bringing value, leading from a place of value. How can I bring someone on like Matt, to add value to the community? How can I bring on business owners? And, just make it fun. That's one thing we always say, making real estate fun again, making it fun, not making it so much the X's and O's. Like, here are 3 things you need to do to sell your home. Well, here, I'll bring on an expert to talk about that. But at the end of the day, it's how can I add more value to the community? Because at the end of the day, if you're an expert in real estate, that's our end goal, right? How can we help as many families with the streamlined process?
They're the reason why we're here.
Exactly.
I got you. That's awesome. I love doing these lives with people. Like Janelle set one up that we did with the mayor at the time. Steve and I have done multiples, and I really appreciate you coming on with me today.
Yeah,
really fun, man. One more question.
Yeah.
When are you going to come visit and hang out with me and Steve?
Oh, it might be a lot sooner than you think. We're getting our place. We're getting some different places set up now to come visit. It is definitely on my list. Nice. Steve, I'll share a fun story real quick.
Please do.
So most people don't believe me when I say this. I have eaten one salad in my life.
Right.
And that was at the last EXP Con, sitting next, because Steve and Kelly, they're my EXP Con buddies, right? We always end up sitting next to each other. And this last event, they were doing 75 hard. They were so motivated, like talking about how much better they're eating. And, someone came and put a salad in front of me. Yeah. Said, you know what? I'm going to try it. But then you know what happened? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I haven't had one since then. Just them inspired me to go ahead and do that. So I'm definitely going to have to go out there and see them.
You've got all kinds of stuff out here, man. I mean, if you're into country stuff, obviously I like to fish, but we've got these stuff too. I mean, Sacramento is awesome. Roseville,
Yeah. Well, I'm from Cleveland, so I grew up on the Lake Erie. We go walleye fishing all the time. Man, now you just got me thinking about my dad fries walleye. Oh, that's so good. I love fishing, so I love to go out there with you guys.
Striper and sturgeon that would blow your mind out here. We have a salmon
really
every year. Yeah, it's insane. Right here in Yuba City,
So, before we go off, I want to give a couple different ways of going live to your audience out there, especially if there's agents watching this that maybe we don't think of. I mean, obviously, we hear business owners all the time, right?
Right.
Here's a big one. As a real estate expert, we should know, like, school districts. That's always a big thing when you're moving to a different area. Interview people in school districts. Interview a school district representative. Wow. What's something that keeps parents up at night, especially right now? What the heck's going to happen with my kid in school?
Right.
Bring on an expert in your local area and talk about that. Talk about what's going on, what the school is mandating, what's going on right now, and inform the community. Because at the end of the day, look, people are looking for homes. They're also looking for school districts. They're looking for businesses. They're looking for a lot. So be the community expert. Don't always just think real estate. Think community. And that's what winning looks like.
That's awesome, Nick. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I look forward to talking to you again.
All right, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Have a great day.